Are you crazy? Is that your problem?
We all have issues. Geek culture has issues too. Not just comic book issues. Real issues that need to get out in the open and be discussed. That's what you're about to hear. The Geek Speak Show, Volume 2, presents Issues of the Day. Here's Henry San Miguel.
Hey gang, what's going on? Welcome to the, yes, for real this time, the Issues of the Day episode. It's been a while. We had this little gathering in San Diego that we all were at, and we all melted and are exhausted. So we didn't do one for that month. But now we're going to do one. It's, look at your calendar, it's almost the end of August. That means hopefully two things. First, this heat goes away. The second, it's almost time for the spooky season around here. You guys know what that means. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And so I have a big issue I want to talk about. So let's get right to it. Before we do, the gang's almost all here. We're missing one voice who'll be here in just a second. But Shanclen, of course, is here. He has no choice. He is part of the Geek Speak Show. Oh, young warrior.
He has me in chains, everybody. I don't want to leave.
Okay, you're giving him the wrong idea. That ended a long time ago, and my people were in chains too. So I'm not going to do the same to you. But no. Yes, he is here, and of course the other two. Well, it will be two voices, just not in the beginning. Geek Off the Street, the co-hosts, Trent Tucker is here.
That's me. I'm here, ready to go.
I'm trying to go slow, see if Mark joins us while I'm introing you guys. But Mark will be here in a second. He's having issues with his central computer.
Ironic.
And so he'll join us in just a second. So if you hear a different voice pop in all of a sudden, it's not Shanclen calling in the spirits. It's Marc Pope jumping in. But welcome. So, and like I said earlier, I wanted to have you in particular, Trent, because you talked about it on your episodes. I think you've mentioned that on past Geek Speak episodes we've done. We have definitely had private conversations about this. And this comes after we've had two big film releases. That was Superman and then also the Fantastic Four. We're starting to see more of the anticipated DC and I think one or two Marvel shows that have come out also again. And people like them. But they didn't like him. They didn't love him like they used to before. It's just, okay, cool. So, is superhero fatigue, is it a real thing now? And are we finally starting to really see it happen? You can get it started.
Oh, me? Yeah. I'm pretty passionate about this topic. I've been saying this for a long time. It's the one or maybe two things that Mark will agree with me about is that I was calling the superhero fatigue thing out a long time ago, and not to toot my own horn, but I feel. But let me do anyway. Yeah, I feel pretty validated with that. But I still think it's kind of an interesting answer because I think superhero fatigue is here in a sense, but I think it comes down to, like I've been saying, it's getting bored of the same formula, the same style of storytelling. Same types of characters, tropes, character arcs. It's all the same stuff still going. And I think that's what people are getting tired of. I don't know if anyone will ever be tired of superheroes and comic books, because I still read comic books now today. But I think when it's the same thing over and over again, people want something new. It's human nature. You want something different after a while. So you see the same thing over and over and over again. I think it gets old, and you want something different.
Yeah, Michael Jackson told us. I think he wrote a song about it, that it's just human nature. So, yes, if Michael told us, it must be true. Shanclen, you agree with that or no?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All right, yeah.
So the next topic.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. No. Yeah, I really do kind of agree with it. It's I'm really more drawn to like not traditional superheroes, I guess you can say. Like I guess it's like you already kind of know what to expect when you watch these movies. It's just a different face, different character, different abilities, but overall same story in a sense.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, exactly.
Mine's going to be similar to Shanclen, a very simple answer. It's the same answer I've given every time we talk, not just about superhero, but just about anything. It's something that actually I can't take credit for. It's David Glanzer from Comic-Con. When the very first Geek Speak episode, thousands and thousands of years ago, it was only 2010, not that long ago, but I asked him that. I asked him, do you think this is always, because at that time when he first came on, the MCU wasn't even the MCU yet. We had just finished Lord of the Rings, the Harry Potter movies, the episode 1 through 3, Star Wars episode 1 through 3 had just ended. We had just gotten JJ's new Star Trek, so that was on coming up. We were getting some superhero and superhero-like TV shows on the regular on ABC, CBS. Heroes, I think, was in its final or about to enter its final season at the time, but it wasn't, what I'll say during superhero prime, which I would call like between 13 and maybe 16, maybe through 19 to Endgame. From 13 till about Endgame, that's what I consider the prime. When it was at its prime. So, I asked David Glanzer. I said, "Do you guys think this is always going to be popular? You guys are always going to have these big things in Hall H?" And he said, "Probably not, because not just with superheroes, but with every genre, whether it's drama, comedy, whatever it is, it's like a pendulum." And it's exactly what you said, Trent. It's human nature. We find something, we like something, but then we get tired of something. Mm-hmm. I think I just explained the divorce rates, why they're so high. But as far as entertainment, that explains it perfectly. It is human nature where, we'll talk food. I think all three of us and everybody listening likes food. We find our favorite restaurant. Why is it our favorite restaurant? Why does it become our favorite restaurant? Because we know what we're going to get. We know how they cook it. And if something changes, it's still the same restaurant, but there's just something off, and I don't know if I like this anymore. Kind of the same thing here. I'll stay with Marvel, because that's what everybody talks about. After Endgame, I think everybody was waiting for that Endgame flavor, and you didn't get it. The next thing, you just still didn't get it. The next thing, you still didn't get it. And by the next one, I'm not even going to go to that restaurant anymore. Let me find a new restaurant. So, yeah, that I don't think it's the quality. Some are, but not totally the quality of the movies or the shows. I think it's just that the people are tired of, all right, especially today. This is something that is different. In my time, and when Mark comes on, we will represent the older generation. But in our time, we come from a time, you guys, I guess, are in the middle of that, but we come from a time when all the movies we watched weren't readily available on streaming or not even on VHS, because it took a while for them to come out on VHS. So you had one chance to watch it in the movie theater or when it was broadcast on television, and then you had to wait for reruns on TV, which usually happened in the summer, which was months later, or you had to wait to, and you remember these Blockbuster nights when it finally came out to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video to be able to watch them again. And then you can dissect them and rewind the tape and watch it. Like, let me watch this scene. How do they do it? You could do that. Today, you can get, even before the movie comes out, and that's something else I want to throw in a second. Before the movie comes out, you can start dissecting scenes before the movie even comes out. This is Superman and his battle with the kaiju. This is Superman and the lanterns. It's like, the movie hasn't even, it comes out in 2 weeks. Can I watch the movie first? So I think that may have a little bit to do with it, that you're giving people too much stuff, and by the time they go watch it, well, they already saw half the movie on their social media. So what is it to get excited about? Now, you guys do this. In fact, you guys create things, shorts, I think they call them, of clips for your social media channels. Both of you guys. Does that, do you think, does that take people's excitement away when you're constantly bombarding them with, we got a new video, got a new clip, this is coming, this is on the show, this is going to be that, instead of just dropping it and blowing their minds on the day that it drops?
Man, I think that's actually a pretty interesting observation because I think it comes down to the generation, my generation, and the generation below us. Our attention spans are not great. I think that's why I think that's what shorts actually came into play is because people my age and younger want instant gratification. They want the answers right away. They don't want to wait for it, and that's where the shorts and reels came into play. And I think that might be a product of that issue because I like with Fantastic Four is a great example. They gave us the plain plot point in the trailer, which was ridiculous. The biggest plot point of that trailer or that movie was in the trailer.
Yeah.
And now we're not surprised or aren't excited about what happens because we already know what happened. Based on
I'm gonna give you a little behind the scenes when it comes to Fantastic Four. When it comes to Marvel in general, and I think you and Mark and Shanclen for sure, but you and Mark, I think you guys figured this out when you first met me and we started talking privately. Because of what I've done with the Geek Speak show over the years, I actually do have sources, real friends that are in the MCU. And I'm not talking editors or security guards or drivers. I'm talking about people that actually write these things and are planning phase 7, 8, 9 and beyond. And yes, I am privy to some things. I've never talked about them on the show. I've never leaked them. That's why I've never been a big fan of that stuff. This Fantastic Four was the first movie where I did everything I could and succeeded. I didn't know anything about it other than the title and what we got in the trailers and all the stuff that we got. I was really excited about this movie until I know exactly the trailer you're talking about, until that trailer came out. And then I said, wait a minute. First of all, I mean, if you know who this... See, I guess you can say it because the movie's been out for a while now. And let me make sure we're talking about the same thing. You're talking about when they reveal that Shanclen and all that?
Yeah, when they have to decide to trade Franklin for the world. That's the most important part of the movie. And
now, you could say... Well, it wasn't really an important part because he never really took Franklin. Said, yeah, but if you know Franklin's story, you kind of figure where they're gonna go with this thing. So yeah, you kind of know. And then also, I was hoping not, but it is. Galactus fell into the trap the problem that Marvel has always had with villains, except for maybe Thanos and Loki. It's a one and done deal. And this is Galactus. This is not just somebody that you just bring in. Oh, look, here's this cool big giant thing, and okay, forget about him. This is Galactus, and he's just gonna disappear, kind of like what's his name, Kang, just disappears into that void or whatever. And okay, forget him. Jedi mind trick. You never saw Kang. You never saw Galactus. Like really, especially now that you have the Fantastic Four in the MCU, there is a reason to have Galactus there. Yeah, I know Doom also, but arguably Galactus is a Fantastic Four main character, main villain, if you will. So, and that of course leads into the Silver Surfer. So to just one and done him, and even before that to ruin the entire thing, yeah. Because what also builds, and this I also blame, not social media, but the YouTube videos that, and I think they were on Instagram too. I started seeing them around the midpoint of, when I said the prime time was around 14, 15. I used to see videos. This is how the Matrix should have ended. This is how this movie should have ended. It's their fantasies, how they think it should have ended. And then at that point, that's when I started to hate social media, because now it makes everybody think that this is pretty easy. I can make a movie. Everybody thinks they can make a movie. You can't. I've always said, just because you have a pen doesn't make you J.K. Rowling, doesn't make you Mark Twain. You're not going to write the great American novel. Anybody can write, but you're not going to write the great American novel. Everybody can hold up a camera and shoot, but you're not going to make Endgame. So when you see those things, like you said, you give away the 3 Spider-Men are going to be in this. The Galactus Franklin is they're going to trade him for Galactus, and we said no. When you do all that stuff, people start thinking, well, what if it does this? Well, what if it does that? Well, what if the movie goes this? Well, I have a theory that this, and at that point, you've made your own movie, and when it doesn't live up to what you were thinking, this is mid. MCU sucks. Somebody knows what they're doing. How do they pay these guys millions of dollars and they don't do it? So I think that is a new addition to this pendulum that people get tired of. It's not that they're tired of the things, because if you really look at it, the formula hasn't changed for DC or any superhero movie. It's always the origin, the antagonist comes in, and the resolution. It doesn't matter how you get to those, but that's always what it takes. Every story takes that. Those are all there in every single story. It's just different characters, and it's how you get there. So it can't be that they're just tired of that period. It's got that, what I just mentioned, has to have to do a little bit with it, that you know what's coming, but what the ideas that you start thinking, they don't live up to your fantasies. It's a weird way to put it, but they don't live up to your fanboy fantasies, and that's why you start hating things. I mean, I'm saying a lot here, but do you think that has anything to do with it, or am I just old guy rambling about nothing?
I actually see 100% what you're saying, because I remember doing that exact same thing with Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Like, I started creating my own ideas of who these people were and what was going to happen. I was like, man, this is going to be awesome because this can happen, this can happen, this can happen. And then none of those things happened. I was like, this is episode 4.
Well, wait, I never asked you this actually. Was one of those, did you think Rey was a Skywalker?
Yeah, I did think the Rey was
Before
a Skywalker
she said
at
she
one
was
point, and then I even like drifted off to maybe Obi-Wan somehow, and I was talking about, I was like, oh, who the First Order is, and I was coming up with all these crazy theories about who I think these things are, and I was like, this is just episode 4 rehashed, and I was like, this is a letdown from what I thought it was gonna be. I may have enjoyed it more if I didn't create my own theories about it, but maybe not though. If we're being honest. But no, I think that's valid. That's a valid point.
I honestly have to say, I think thinking back, Star Wars, the new trilogy that came out, was the very first time that I started seeing fan theories. And like, because I remember that's when I started seeing that on social media, was like, oh, who's Snoke? You know, like, who is Rey? You know, like, and, you know, trying to figure out the lore and everything behind it. And a lot of people started making some really cool stories. And then it's just like, when it came out, you're just like, oh, you know? And then,
yeah, exactly.
I was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's not, you know, what it's going to be. And kind of going back to what Henry said is like, I just think trailers these days just give way too much.
Way too much.
It's that's like one of the main reasons, like, for the new Conjuring movie that's coming out. Like, I haven't watched any trailers of it whatsoever, just because of that Fantastic Four trailer where he's standing at the podium and he's telling everybody, like, Galactus gave us an ultimatum that we're not gonna do this. Is like, oh, you just gave up the whole plot of the entire movie. You know, like, I would have been cool if you didn't have that in there, and then now, you know, I already kind of know what's going on. So a lot of that thrill and expectation is already kind of gone away. So that's just how it is with trailers these days, in my opinion. And they just need to really work on their craft about not showing too much about what is actually happening, but still get some thrill to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that adds to it not being impressive because you already know it's coming.
Yeah.
Well, wait. See, and before you two answer, think carefully, because remember, this show is listened to, and I think I've introduced both of you to a couple of them. The show is listened to filmmakers, professional filmmakers, who will be looking to you guys to write or maybe hire you guys to do this. So, for you two, what makes for a perfect teaser or trailer that doesn't give everything away, but still entices people to go to the movie theater and watch it?
Oh, go ahead, Shanclen. Sorry.
Well, first off, don't show your plot.
Number one on the list. Yeah.
And if you're going to be having like a plot twist inside of your movie, or something that's going to be like totally crazy, do not show the plot twist. Or if there's a character that's tied to that plot twist who just shows up out of nowhere and is a mystery, don't show them. You know, like, keep it mystery to where, like, oh, you know, like, if you want to, you know, like, introduce it, like, some way, shape, or form, have a conversation about it. There's different ways of finding loopholes of showing it, but without showing it directly. You know what I mean? And that's where, you know, you got to find the happy magic place of the in between. It's like a little straight, narrow line that you have to walk and it's very easy to not show enough or to show too much, but to show perfectly the right amount of stuff, to be able to kind of show people what's going on with your movie within 2 minutes or less, and to be able to portray that in such a way takes a master to learn how to do that.
Yeah, no, I think like I agree. I think I mean, now that I've been spoiled so much by trailers, I'm thinking like Christopher Nolan's new trailer for The Odyssey. It's just him floating on a raft, couple lines of dialogue from
The Punisher.
Yeah, to the plate. Yeah, Punisher, exactly. And then that's it. And like we don't get anything else. I mean, it helps that I know what The Odyssey is, obviously, but I want less. I want even less. I mean, I think great example. Maybe 28 weeks later had a good trailer. The movie didn't match the trailer at all, which was unfortunate. But there's that. But I think I even go back to like a movie like Moneyball. Had a great trailer. Had a couple of comedy points in it. Kind of told you a little bit about the world, the baseball, and the stuff that's going on, but didn't tell you the conflict. Didn't tell you what the characters were going through. And that's the way you do it. You just you give a little bit of an interest, and we just need one trailer. I don't need 4 teasers, and a trailer number 2, trailer number 3, and then movie comes out next week. Like I think that's crazy.
One thing I'll say, Alien Romulus. Okay, I think it depends on the franchise that you're working with, because if you're working with a franchise or like some type of movies that somebody already knows the backstory to, the less you can actually share about it. Because that was something that I loved about Alien Romulus is like, there's aliens. You already know that. It's just how is the scenario that they're going to be on. So what's your biggest thing that you have is the environment is changed.
There's something in the water. There's something in the water.
There's something in the wall. But, like their biggest takeaway of how they set that movie apart from all the other different alien movies was the location of where it's at. Like that was their biggest strong suit. I think they had was that ship that was kind of going. Its set design, the music and the sound, that's what set that movie apart. And that's what really made that, kind of go. You didn't need to like show like, that hybrid thing coming out of her or, all that other stuff or anything like that. Like they just needed creepy music, good location, aliens. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
See, we're going to get away from this superhero movie fatigue topic a little bit. Look, it's kind of tied in. I want to play a game with you two. If Mark jumps in, he can play also. And I guess at the same time, it's going to be a game. It's going to be fun. And there's no real right or wrong answers. Is just this is really going to make you think, and it's also going to be a trip down memory lane. See if all of us remember this. For the two of you, what is the last really, really, really good trailer you remember that really made you want to see a movie, and the movie was just as or better than the trailer said it was going to be?
I'm gonna be biased. Man of Steel to me, I thought it was fantastic. They showed two trailers of the exact same images, but one had the voice of Jor-El and the other one had the voice of Jonathan Kent, both telling him different ideals of who he's supposed to be and who he becomes. And I think it was beautifully done. And then I know a lot of people don't care, but I'm a big fan of Man of Steel. I think that was fantastic. That's the last time I remember really being excited about something and being even more excited after the movie came out.
For me, I'm going to have 2. It's going to be Warfare and Sinners.
Oh, Sinners was good. You're
Yeah.
right. That was a good trailer. Yeah.
Warfare and Sinners, I think, were the ones that... Warfare, I might have to take that one off the list because it was more so of the interviews that made that movie interesting, because it was kind of like another war movie that was happening. Like, oh, okay. But it was when people were in the interviews and the reviews talking about the movie, how it was going to be different from traditional Hollywood war movies and stuff. I think that, so I'm going to have to say Sinners for me.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little bit before that, not that much, but in fact, when the show started, the Geek Speak show started, Inception. When we got I think it was the second to last full trailer for Inception. We had gotten the teaser, and it was just basically telling you something about dreams, and you're wondering like, what the hell? Because there was no dialogue, there was no voiceover, nothing. It was just very similar to Cloverfield. The first teaser, remember, there was nothing for that one. That's another good one that really got your attention. But I don't know how you see it. I consider it more gimmicky because it was a found footage thing, and so it was like you're just seeing found. And remember, at that time, it was at the height of Paranormal Activity, and Blair Witch had just come out, and all that. So it was like, okay, cool. You thought it was gonna be like a Godzilla movie. That's what everybody thought. It's a Godzilla movie. It's a Godzilla movie because they didn't really show you anything. But the Inception one, the final, or I think it was the second to last full trailer. I remember that's the first time you heard the boom, 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 and that catches your attention right away. And then you're seeing scenes of them in the hallway. No dialogue, no voice of God telling you in a dream, within a dream. There's none of that. You're just wondering, like, what the hell am I looking at? And then it just says Inception coming, whatever the date was. That made you want to see it. That got me excited enough to want to see it. It made me interested to want to know what the hell the story is. What is going on here? Why are these people going in, upside down in a building? Why are they in snow? What is this going on? Biased. Once it said Christopher Nolan, like, okay, I'm there. I would say I like any Christopher Nolan movie. But even before that, if I had no idea that it was a Christopher Nolan movie, that really got my attention. And even before that, I was thinking, we were actually talking about this because we're talking computers and we're talking about IMAX, potentially getting IMAX for video editing. I remember when the very, very first iMac, remember the ones that looked like a little candy, the with the clear plastic thing, the clear plastic covers it had? What was a trailer that was used to play over and over and over? Phantom Menace. That one was also good because I'm not talking about the movie being good. I'm just saying the trailer really, really made all of us think it was going to be really, really good. The excitement that, it's a new Star Wars, and it sounded like Star Wars. Then we watched the movie, so we're not going to get into that. So, around part of this little game still, around what time or is there a certain or one trailer teaser in particular that told you that's it? Spoiler culture is also a thing because it gives out everything. It gives out the entire plot in the trailer. Now, I'm not talking about, I know you had like comedies and little movies that give away everything. I'm talking about the big movies, like the ones that we talk about on our shows.
That's a good question.
See, and listeners, I know they're doing the same thing. Yeah, when was it?
I'm computing. Hang on.
I don't know, man. I really did feel like the Fantastic Four was the last straw for me because I remember thinking back to how good the Infinity War trailer was, and the Endgame trailer actually also. Those were just incredible. Didn't spoil too much, and they're fantastic. I think
actually, wait. I just thought of something. Both of you. If it was a leak or something, it's okay to say now. It's been long enough. When did you two know in Infinity War they were all gonna die, or half of them are gonna die? And when did you know Tony was gonna die in Endgame, or it wasn't until opening night when you went to see it?
It wasn't until I saw it.
Yeah, same, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say for me, I'm gonna have to say Captain America: Brave New World.
What, it gave away too much or what?
Yeah.
It's
the only thing that wasn't in there was the dude from the original Hulk that got
the leader. The leader.
Yeah. He was the only one that wasn't in the trailer. But pretty much everything else is just like I already that's why it took me so long to watch the movie because I barely watched it like a couple weeks ago. And I was just like, this is pretty much exactly like how I thought it would. It kind of pissed me off that Captain America doesn't walk around with gadgets and it takes him 20 minutes to take down some dudes when, by the time he takes down the henchman, the dude always gets away. I'm like, if dude had his gadgets or some cool stuff, he would have mopped those guys real quick and got that villain. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, no, I agree with that Captain America one though. Like arguably the most the most, I guess, attention grabbing thing would have been the Red Hulk, and when we already knew was coming, it's like, well, come on, man. That's the entire climax of the movie, and we know it's coming. It would have been great if we didn't know it was coming.
Well,
Yeah.
for us in particular, that was spoiled. You were there at Comic-Con. Even before the movie was even finished or released, we were told
nuts.
he's going to be Red Hulk in the movie. So it wasn't that, and you got, in fact, my son got a picture of it. Harrison Ford comes on stage, hulking out. It's like, okay, I guess he's going to be Red Hulk in this one.
Yeah, and it's like you kind of wanted to see more of the Red Hulk instead of that other guy, because it's just like, if you were to choose between the two villains, you would want Red Hulk more than the scientist dude or whatever.
Well, what really, forget the leader, what you really would have wanted more, not just because it's Giancarlo Esposito, but you want to want more of the Serpent Society and what they're going to do with that.
I forgot he was in that.
See?
Just reminded me he was in that.
Yeah, but he was there for like, what, 2-3 scenes, and that's it. He goes away. Like, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, again, kind of like the way DC lore. I mean, I know obviously the big characters, Batman, Superman, but I don't know the DC lore and the connections like the way I do Marvel. But if you're a Marvel comics fan and you know the history and the lore of the Serpent Society, yeah, there is a lot of potential for stories there that I guess they're not going to use now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, will they get into that? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
Marvel's gonna be doing like the surface level stuff,
Yeah, no, I was because I have a lot of friends in the industry, as you guys know, and they're from different generations, I guess you could say. Like some are on the younger side, some are older than me, some are about my age, and it's interesting when we could probably have an entire discussion with them and do 5 hours, and people would listen to them because everybody has something different to say, and they're all right. Like everything you notice, everything that both of you have said, and Mark, when he comes on, I've never said to you guys, no, you're wrong, you're dumb, you don't know anything. We all know art is subjective, as they say. There's different tastes, and there are some things that we all know are really, really good. There's also some things that we all know, War of the Worlds, are really, really, really dumb. The new one I'm talking about, are really, really dumb. So we do know when things suck and when things don't, and we also know the same thing when we, let me rephrase that. What we don't know, or at least can't agree on, that's kind of what this topic was about, is why are we getting superhero movie fatigue? Is it really that, or is it kind of like what Trent was saying? Is it just our human nature that we can't admit that we are getting fat now? We're full. We're eating at the same restaurant over and over and over. Now we want dessert or something different. We want a new restaurant is basically what we're saying. But we want that restaurant to taste a little bit like the 3 Spider-Man and Endgame and all that stuff. Not exactly, but it'll remind me of that taste. Is that what it really is?
I would say that's what I think it is. I think like we just covered Sandman season 2, and that's based on one of the greatest graphic novels of all time. And it's a comic book, but it's not a superhero beat 'em up, punch pow, pow bang kind of thing. And it tells a great story about some great characters going through some crazy stuff, and it's really well done. That's a comic book. We can still adapt comic books. We just need something different for people that are looking for something new. We watched the Jurassic Park movie. We covered that, the new one.
Yeah.
And Mark will disagree. We had a conversation about this on our show for like 15 minutes, but there's a part where, people are getting bored of dinosaurs. Like, the people are getting bored of dinosaurs. Like, how would you ever get bored of dinosaurs? But they've been in this world for 35 years. You're not going to go see a dinosaur every single weekend for 35 years and still have the same like excitement that you had when you were 5 years old. I think that's a part of human nature. You want something different. You want something new. You want something fresh, something that keeps you excited and keeps you looking for that excitement and joy in life. And I think if you see the same thing over and over, it gets boring.
I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to. Have you seen Primitive War?
I haven't.
Yeah, I learned about it at Comic-Con, actually, and they actually were going to come on the Geek Speak show, but then something happened and we couldn't have them on. They may come on later. But from what I understand, people that have seen it, yeah, it's dinosaurs, but it's really what you want. It's when you're a kid and you got dinosaurs and you just make them fight. That's basically all it is. Just put it in the middle of the Vietnam War. So a lot of people are saying it's really, really good. It's a little cheesy in some places, but it's other than that, it's really good. So
yeah, this looks cool.
If you like you said, the Jurassic Park stuff, but you're kind of tired of the same thing also, give that one a try. I haven't seen it. I'm just saying, I'm just going by what people that I trust, what they say.
I
So-
might check it out. Yeah, I've seen the first two Jurassic Park movies, the originals, maybe the third one. Didn't see any of the Chris Pratt ones, so this doesn't mean much to me. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that actually, everything we were saying, this superhero movie fatigue thing, it worries me a little bit. Not because people aren't going to go see Marvel movies or DC movies. Not that. It's because of YouTube, especially Shanclen. When I first met, and I've talked about this on the show before, the last 3.5 weeks on the regular Geek Speak episodes, I've talked to people that are making graphic novels and movies out of those and shows out of those graphic novels. They're superheroes, but they're superheroes from their mythological creatures, from their cultural fairy tales, I guess you would call them, and they're turning them into superheroes or fantastical stories that are palatable to everyone, not just people from that certain culture. Now, the thing is, that's cool, but that same formula is there. So if people are tired of superhero movies, will there be an audience for these new movies, even though they are new and original?
Are you talking about superheroes in general?
No,
Like if they're
I'm
just
talking
like a
about
new-
people just kind of like what you guys want to do. Take your creation stories and make them accessible to everyone, not just to indigenous and Navajo people.
Mhm.
See,
Will
so
people get tired of it?
yeah, well, because you're going to present it as some of the stories that you guys have told me, like we said one time, they can be seen for us, for American eyes, could be seen as kaiju movies. Now, if you present it that way, yeah, we've seen Godzilla, we've seen the MonsterVerse, we've seen all this stuff. Will there be an audience for it, or will they also get tired?
I just think it depends on how you make it, how you promote it. Because I'm gonna go back to Alien Romulus. There's been so many Alien movies and so many Predator movies where sometimes like you're just like, okay, I get it. There's an alien, there's a predator, just like Alien Predator Requiem or whatever. There's like a predator, he's gonna go whoop some ass, he's gonna kill some aliens, but somehow he's gonna die or something like that. Well, when it came to Alien Romulus, it was interesting to see. It's the same thing, but it's very interesting on how they made it more horror, I guess you can say, more scary, and to the newer age in digital media, I guess you can say. So it just kind of really depends on how you work it, because of course there's been a bunch of King Kong. I think I'm King Kong fatigued, honestly. But it's the same thing with how Japan made Godzilla. Like they did their own take on it, even though it did come from Japan. But they did their movie on it, and their storytelling was just blew America's Godzilla out the water. So it just really depends on who makes it, how you advertise it, and how it goes from there.
yeah, I'm glad you said that, because the minus zero one is fantastic, and that is a great way of doing this, like the same genre but making it better, and I don't know, making it more accessible, I think. But I think back to what Henry was saying, I don't know, that might be the issue, is if you're trying to do something that's for everybody, you have to cut things out and make things a little more soft around the edges so it can fit in more places. And I think that kind of stretches it a little thin. I think it makes it changes the quality of it when you're trying to get it to more people. So I don't know, man. This isn't me being the independent artist that always stays true to his vision. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I think you really do have to pick who you're marketing to, because at this point, like Jurassic World, another great example, that's supposed to be for everybody, didn't do that well. Fantastic Four, Superman, all these movies that were supposed to be for everybody, they did okay. They did all right box office wise. So I don't know. Is the issue money? Is it because Hollywood's a business and they're still trying to find a way to make the most money out of these movies? That could be a part of it too. But yeah, it's tough to say. But I think if they're doing movies like you're talking about, Henry, and they're trying to take something that's cultural for specific people, but they try to make it for everybody, I don't know. I feel like that might not work either.
Well, we'll see, because next week, not this episode, obviously, but next week, I'm going to feature another one of those. So let's see how you guys, the Geek Speak audience at least, reacts to that. I was smiling, though. Let me go back a little bit before we end this. I was smiling when Shanclen was talking about Alien Romulus. He said it twice now because this goes back. I think it was. Were we on your show or you guys were on here? I think it was Mark that hated me because remember you guys asked me, do I like Alien or Aliens?
Oh, all the way around. No, I hate you because you said you liked Aliens over Alien, right?
No. I like Alien is what I said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're. I'm sorry. That was right. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't remember which one of you hated me because I don't see you guys as enemies anyway, and you guys can't hate me. So I remember who hated. But I said on your show, I always like Alien because it's a horror, it's a haunted house movie in space. So I was smiling when Shanclen was describing this as they went back to horror. Like, yeah, exactly. That's what Alien has always been. Aliens. I said when Mark started getting upset, like, we were friends too, because I picked Alien. I said, I've always seen those as two, I mean, I know they are, but two separate movies in the same franchise. One is the haunted house in space movie. Aliens is just a straight up action film, especially the last part. So it's got obviously the xenomorph and all that, but it's an action. It's a James Cameron action movie. Terminator with xenomorphs basically is what it is.
Say Terminator. It is Terminator. Yeah. Terminator 2 really.
And Alien is a haunted house, Resident Evil the video game, but with one xenomorph, and that one does have the advantage of being the first. So we, the audience, we had no idea what xenomorphs were. By the time Aliens came around, we had an idea. We just hadn't seen so many, fighting so many at one time. Yes, it was. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's a fun movie. It's a cool. I just watched it a couple of days ago. It's a fun movie to watch, and you cheer. When you remember the lines and everything. But they're two different movies. Romulus, yeah, I took it back to that, but we're only 3, almost 4 episodes in. Alien Earth, not just because it let us do stuff at Comic-Con, but it's really, really, really good. This series is really, really good. This takes place before Alien even, and very similar to what Strange New Worlds and Star Trek is doing. There are things that you could call it fan service, but they don't make it obvious that it's fan. Like going back to that movie that didn't happen, but I guess we have to pretend it happened. The last Star Wars movie, what was it called? The Rise of Skywalker. What do they call it? The Raylo. That was for them, for the fans. Like, yeah, we hear you, and we're gonna do it for you. Like, no, you don't need to listen to them. It's not that bad. What I'm talking about is things that are canon in the Alien universe from the first Alien. They are here, and you can point a line from what's in Alien Earth to what you're going to see in the movie eventually. When you're an Alien fan, you look at it like, that is freaking awesome how they tie that in, because it all makes sense now. So I like that. Romulus was the franchise, both of them, Alien and Predator. And I was telling my son this at Comic-Con. They had a huge presence at Comic-Con, Predator and Badlands and Alien. And they'd been doing really good with, what was the Killer of Killers? They started with that one, that people liked that one a lot. They even changed the ending. They told us during Comic-Con that they put in Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny Glover's characters from Predator and from the first Predator movie. So they added them into the, if you watch it on Hulu again, you remember at the end, it was just Nadu, the character from Prey. That was a surprise, like, oh, she's there, and it goes to the credits. Now you see her, and then it moves, and you see Danny Glover's character, forget it, Harrigan or whatever. What was the name? You said it on your Nerdy Navajo News report. I don't know. I can't remember what I said an hour ago. But it was him, and then also Schwarzenegger's character from the original Predator. They're in there, which now, and the Dan Trachtenberg, he said he spoke to Arnold, and Arnold gave him permission to go ahead and bring that character back. I don't know how, but we're going to see the original character coming back in some things. And from what we've seen, I don't know. I don't think it's out yet, which is a good thing. Usually things get snuck out or leaked somehow. But they got the first 25 minutes of Predator Badlands in Hall H. And when people describe it, I was talking to Joey from Geek Time. They've been one of our guys for a while. I won't give you all of it, but basically it starts with the Predator family dynamics, where the main Predator, the main character Predator we're gonna follow he's considered the runt. To his father, he's a disappointment because he's not a hunter like the rest of them, like the big brother. So he has the big brother try to kill him. He says, "You guys fight in your training," but he doesn't know that the dad had told the big brother, "Kill him because he's worthless to me anyway." But the brother protects him, and gives his life to save his little brother. And the little brother takes the ship, and he goes off to I forget what the planet's called, but that's what it's called, Badlands. It's a place that they in our language would be called Badlands because there's this huge predator there that even the father is afraid of. All predators are afraid of. So this guy, this kid, basically, to show his father, "Hey, I'm worthy." He goes to this planet and he says, "Watch, I'm gonna bring back that predator and show him that I'm worthy." And his brother had told him before he died, said, "Lo, that's suicide." I said, "Well, what does it matter? He wants me dead anyway, so he'll be happy either way." So that's basically the story we're going to see, plus some other things. So already it sounds good, stuff we've never seen before in a Predator movie. So both of those franchises are doing good. So, but yeah, it made me smile when Shanclen was describing it, going back to horror. Like, yeah, that's exactly what it's been doing.
I will have to say that does sound like the plot line to Prey.
Yeah. Sounds like the plot line to something else, but yes.
Like a million movies, but it's just, yeah.
No, I was talking about personal life.
Yeah.
But we won't go there.
Yeah, it does sound very interesting. I want to go see that now because that,
yeah.
We've just never seen like a dynamic, like a cultural dynamic from the Predators. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, well, honestly, I mean that's why Prey worked, because it wasn't just about the Predator. You actually cared about Naru, the character that you followed. And
you hear that, Alien Requiem? Alien versus Predator Requiem? I don't care about the pizza delivery guy.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that one. I mean, what's the consensus? Then I mean, is it a thing, or is it just like Trent said, human nature?
I was talking about Alien again, but which I would love to get into, man. Is Alien Earth? We talked about that on the show today. Alien Earth is fantastic. I think it's phenomenal so far.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys said that. But I think it. Again, I'm just gonna say I don't think it's necessarily superhero fatigue. I think it's the superhero cinematic formula fatigue. I think that's what it is. I think that it's the same thing over and over again, and now people are getting tired of it. And I mean, I was tired of it in 2017, but that's all right. I was in the minority. But I just think no one's gonna get tired of superheroes. Like I would never ever get tired of superheroes. I read comics. I still research all the characters. I do all that stuff because I love it. But the movies, I can take or leave at this point.
Okay, so that was the main issue I wanted to start with, mainly because Trent was here. Now, I did ask both of you, Mark and Trent, to come up with some topics, but I also told them, don't tell us what those topics are. We'll all find out what those are, and yes, you're even going to hear from Mark in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Issues of the day will be right back.
So you think it's easy speaking geek? Here's your chance to put your mouth where your mouth is. Join the Geek Speak show as the new co-host. That means we'll hear you on every episode, including the issues of the day, Halloween episodes, and Geek Speak treats. You'll be able to attend movie premieres and other events that the show covers. Yes, that means you'll be going to San Diego Comic-Con without having to worry about badges selling out. This is open to anyone who'd like to join Henry on the weekly episodes and on camera at various events. But there will be tryouts, so don't think you'll be the co-host just because you get in touch with us. How do you get in touch? That's easy. Send an email to geek.speak@gmx.com. Put new co-host in the subject line. We hope to have a new co-host in place before fall, so send an email to geek.speak@gmx.com or tell someone you know who would be a perfect co-host on the Geek Speak show.
Let me assume for a few seconds. Because the Halloween episode has always been the most downloaded episode in the show's history, I'm assuming you all enjoy getting scared. I'm assuming that's because you've had an experience that you just can't explain. Disembodied voices, shadows out of the corner of your vision, unexplained sounds when you're home alone. On this year's Halloween episode, Henry and Shanclen want to try something new. They want to hear your experiences and share them on the Halloween episode. You can record your experience and send it as an MP3 file to geek.speak@gmx.com. If you'd rather not record yourself, but you still want to share your story, write it out in an email and Henry or Shanclen will read it back on the Halloween episode. However you send it, make sure to put Halloween story in the subject line and send it to geek.speak@gmx.com. This will be an interesting and spooky Halloween episode.
Now back to the Geek Speak Show, Volume 2's Issues of the Day.
Still feels like summer over here. Even if you got a little bit of rain last weekend, still hot over here in Orange County. Hopefully it's not where you are. But that little announcement a minute ago reminded me that, one, it will be getting colder very soon. And hopefully, where's wood here? Knock on wood. Two, this year, Shanclen and me, we want to share your ghost stories with all the listeners. We've always done that actually on the Paranormal Perception podcast that I do. But I know that all of you Geek Speak listeners, you have some spooky experiences that you've never shared. At least not here with us. Except for that 1 year when we did it with the Winchester Mystery House. So I know you all have some good stories. And in fact, Thelma and Louise here, Mark and Trent here, we were talking about something else during that break. Trent, actually, you have shared some of your experiences on the other show. How would you feel about sharing them here on the Geek Speak show?
Well, at the risk of going through that trauma again, Henry, if it's for the show, I'll do it for the show.
I don't mind sharing Trent's experience. I don't mind what he has to go through to do that. I will make that sacrifice.
See, we've told you before off the air. We'll say it on the people can't see us. We can see each other, but we got to say it on the air. Shanclen has always invited you to go on a paranormal investigation with him. See, I will say this. Shanclen won't say it because he's just that kind of guy. But I will say I've done it with him, and when his brother was around, I used to do a lot of stuff with him also. I've been to other paranormal investigations, and it's, what you expect. Oh my God, the door moved. Did you hear that? It is terrifying with these guys. There's no doors that move. Those are earthly things. I'll just leave it at that. So this will really show you how brave Trent really is. Whenever you're ready, we're ready to take you.
Spoilers, I'm not at all. So.
Yes.
But, again, you can tell we're all tired of the heat. We're already thinking about fall and cold time. But I did give you guys some homework. Not Shanclen. He got a little worried. Wait, what? What homework? Not Shanclen.
I didn't even write. I didn't even study.
Yeah.
Borrow your pencil.
Yeah, go ahead. Use those answers. Just change it a little. But I did tell you guys, throw out some topics, whatever it is. But I told you, don't tell us what it is. Just throw it at us, and we'll have fun. So this is where we get to have some fun. What you come up with, both of you guys?
Right on. I guess I'll jump in, Trent, if you don't mind. I guess this is something that's kind of been growing in our culture.
Wait. Oh.
Uh-oh.
No, I thought you were talking about growing in me. I was like, well, it's not a medical show, so we can't help you there.
If you get underneath and lift, no, this is in the culture, in the zeitgeist, if you will. It's in our music, it's in our TV shows, and it's in our movies. And I'm talking about the K-pop fad that's all over the country right now. All the Korean stuff we've got. It's with the music. It's super popular. I'll just
Sorry, you can't
down
see,
for
you
it.
can't see
I love
Shanclen,
it.
but he's into it. Yeah.
He's getting his boogie on. we've had it for movies.
Music's
the
not
last
even
couple
playing, but he
years.
hears it in his ear.
Yep.
Yeah. All of us are like looking around, like, huh? Paranormal? Okay. Yeah, but it's in our current music, like with the boy bands and some of the girl bands that are out there. With our movies, I think one of the first ones I saw was Last Train to Busan, which was like a zombie, thing on a train, and
It's a great one.
It's a great movie, right? So Korea's bringing it, and so with the movies and with our TV shows, or maybe Netflix, so like Squid Game's super popular, and the new movie K-pop Demon Hunters, like that is getting talked about all over the place. That is getting talked about so much, and that is it's hitting a chord. It's still like in the top 10 on Netflix, and it's been out for like, I want to say like a month. Or if not, it's close to it. So yeah, is that a cool thing? Is it an exciting thing? Is it are we slacking off, or is it good to have another culture kind of put into our mix?
This is why I like having you two on here, because that ties in perfectly to what we just finished. Even though you were having issues of your own, not issues of the day coming on, but that's exactly what we talked about. And I mentioned that how the last 3 weeks I've featured guests that have stories from other cultures, from other, not American, not from the West, but from their own cultures, and they're trying to make it palatable to us, to Western audiences. For the Koreans, it's there. It's been there for a while, and the music and everything. I honestly, I don't know what to make of it, because I've noticed it with my own kids, and with Shanclen, obviously, as we all saw a minute ago. But I've noticed it with my own kids. Now, I will say a little bit of bias. My daughter dates a Korean, and good kid, like him. So there's that. But and they talk about, they watch. She watches the K-drama. She watches all that stuff. So it's in my house, but I don't sit down and watch it. Not because I don't like it. I just never really sat down and watched it. So, I'm assuming all three of you watch it. Yes? No?
I don't partake a lot. I did see the K-pop Demon Hunters. I did see that. It's cool. It's an entertaining show. I have seen, obviously, like Last Train to Busan, so I've seen some movies. I've seen Squid Games. I haven't finished it, but I've seen it. And I shouldn't say obviously, but I've heard some of the K-pop music, and it's very poppy. It's very catchy. So I have experienced it. I don't know if I'm like a hardcore fan necessarily, but I also feel like maybe it's not aimed at me. Like Henry, you and I, we're the same age basically, so it's not really our I don't know,
jam.
it's not. Yeah. It's not our jam. It's not really aimed at us.
Literally with the music.
Clearly not the demographic, I think.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think you can still enjoy it though. So.
Well, you two do listen and watch, right? Shanclen and Trent.
I actually don't. Everybody around me, my friends, my family.
Shanclen used to like you.
My mom's really into K-dramas. A lot of my friends are into that, the K-pop groups. I'm very hyper aware of how popular these groups are, and it's almost like the boy band era, but to times 5 or 10 in Korea. And now I think it's really it's hard. You can't not be aware of it. But no, personally, I haven't really gotten the bug yet. But
yeah, that's not your kind of music you listen to anyway, right? You're definitely not that. Yeah,
I really hate pop music. Well, I hate pop music. So yeah.
Again, I'm shocked. Trent hates something.
Everybody listening right now is like grabbing their pearls. What?
Yeah, if you have that on the bingo card, you knew you were gonna get that one, right? Yeah.
Man, Shanclen, I want to hear what's your take on it, man? You were looking pretty jazzed.
Wait,
one more thing.
What don't I partake of the Korean culture?
Wait, one more thing. Wait, one more thing. I just want to see what he'd say, because I've been watching it. He's been waiting to jump on.
I'm already ready, man. Like, I love I watch K-dramas sometimes. I've watched a couple of them. bro, damn near tears every time, dude.
Oh wow.
Like I'm the guy that likes to sometimes like dive into these things, even though it's like if it's like a drama or anything like that, it's a lot better storytelling than a lot of these American shows that I've seen. And like I never get sad whenever I watch like dramas here in the US or anything like that. But these ones, they make you feel it. Just with
that's
their
good.
language, their pronunciations and everything. Same thing with K-pop Demon Hunters. When I first saw that on Netflix, my siblings were like, "You gotta watch it. It's so amazing." And I'm like, "Eh." Until somebody turned it on and I started watching, and I'm like, "Okay, all right." Like it has good music, but also pretty good storytelling too. And that's one thing that I love about these foreign movies and cultures is just the storytelling. There's another TV show that I watch on Netflix. It's called Physical 100. It's kind of like
with the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of it. Yeah.
That thing is cool because they have like athletes that go into the Olympics, boxers, MMA fighters, cross country, even down to actors and stuff like that. And then they even have some foreigners on there too. And they all go through challenge. It's kind of like Squid Games, but for working out. And they have these physical challenges and stuff like that on there. It's really, really cool to be able to see that. And I thought it was very unique. Like how you said, like Squid Games is on there too. That's very unique and cool. Music is kind of hit or miss with me. I do listen to their music quite a bit often. Just depends on the certain situation. Like if you're gonna go out and you're gonna go ghost hunting, and you need to hype yourself up, play some K-pop, and that'll totally get you out of the funk of darkness and evil, and get you hyped up and happy. You know what I mean? There's a certain times I listen to it, and it's those times for sure. And then there's also like how you said, Train to Busan too. I recently watched that like last month. Sad, bro. At the end, bro, I was sad. I was just like, oh my god. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but if you haven't see it, go see it. It's a masterpiece. And then I just recently got done watching another Korean show. It's called Kingdom. It's kind of
with medieval with the zombies. Yeah. That one's good. That's
a great show. Fantastic show.
That I really love that one. And then there's also different types of movies and series within that time period in Korea too, like when Japan was coming and raiding and all that other stuff. It's very interesting. Their storytelling, visual effects, it's always really good. So it's something that you do not see in America as often as you should. The greatest thing or closest thing we can get is the Great Wall, or something like that, So it's always very awesome to be able to hear and see, people's history from their perspective. You know what I mean? They have creative rights to it, and just hearing their culture and happiness. And I gotta say, Korean face care products are next level. Everybody, American face cleansers and all that stuff have crazy chemicals in it. Korea doesn't have that crap in there. So like I've tried so many different things with my face with American products, but once I got on Korean products, changed my life.
Wow.
Well, kind of. I gotta throw something we said during that little break, and you guys couldn't hear us. It's also in the genes. Korean genes. That has a little bit something to do with it too.
Yes.
No, but Mark, what did you ask? What was the question? Because we already started talking about what we like, but what was the question that was in there?
Oh yeah, just in general. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it something to celebrate? Is it something to worry about? Does it necessarily kind of mean our decline?
You mean the fact that there is not a show in particular?
Oh yeah, not a show in particular. Just that it is. I'm talking about the whole basically Korean influence that's in America right now.
No, I mean I would say honestly both. That it's a good and bad thing. Good because I mean you guys say it on your show. I've heard you say it on episodes that you do. We've said it, and I've heard other people say it all the time, which is true. That's how you play in the playground. There should be space for everyone and for every kind of story. That's like, no doubt. But as we just almost did an entire episode here kind of about it. We started this episode about that. Superhero fatigue, How come people don't show up to Hollywood movies? How come they're not going to theaters anymore? Well, a lot of it we hear is the quality of it. And what I was going to ask before everybody started talking about what's their favorite music and movies on that, what I was going to ask is, but you guys kind of said it, what's the difference, other than the obvious, between the Korean films and music than what we are putting out today? Or more specifically, what makes that music and movies and shows better than what we're getting in America?
For me, how I'm going to say that is it's a new restaurant that I like. It
all goes back to food.
Yep. All goes back to food. It's like trying to compare steak with chicken. They're both good. It's just Korea seasons their steak really well. And so they're kind of two different like entities on their own, and like I love them both. You know what I mean? I like sometimes America does it good, and most times Korea does it good. There's some good and bad with both. You know what I mean? So it just kind of really depends on your taste and what you like. Because Korean, anything from a different country is all brand new to me, and it's really cool to be able to get the in-depth storytelling from their cultures.
Yeah, I was just going to say that too, that maybe it's part of it, not all of it. Part of it is just because it is something new and different. Like, when, Quentin Tarantino became really popular with his movies, and they were just all these crazy, off the wall movies that people were loving and talking about. It was something different than from the norm. So there is some kind of a norm. There's some variations, obviously, with every country's media that they put together and put out. But you kind of get used to those different variations, whatever they may be. So when someone comes up with something completely different and it still works, it kind of gets your attention. So maybe the way they completely tell their stories, with a Korean drama, it makes it different. And like Trent was saying, like we've already gone through our boy band phase in America. It kind of came and went, and it kind of had one last, big spike a good, 15 years ago or so. But it never really went away, like in England, for example, where they had their whoever their groups are. And and in Korea, now they are all over the place. Like if you watch some of their TV shows, they have like just like quote unquote boy bands, just after band after band after band after band after band after band, with the women too, with the females. It's crazy. And the cool thing is it's all like, it's inspired by like America's, how we did pop music, how we do pop music. They've taken it and run with it, like the music style, the dance style. I think it's very cool that again, that was created in America, and it's taken off all over the place in the rest of the world, but especially in Korea, which is amazing. One thing I want to throw out really quick too is I have to admit, like, again, being, as old as I am, I've seen, a lot of things come and go with the culture. I never thought, and I'm glad that I see it now, or I got to see it. I never really thought there would be like a quote unquote like an Asian phase in America. I hate to say, like we've had moments where like a certain culture kind of stands out. Like, at one point in time, like the cowboy culture and phase was really popular, like back in the, like the 70s or so. We've had it where, black culture is popular. We've had it with where Latino culture was very popular. Probably in the late 90s, possibly maybe in the early 2000s, where that became like the cool thing. And I was kind of disappointed because I thought it would never happen with an Asian culture. And I'm so glad that it is, just from the sheer talent that they're bringing. And I think maybe it shows just there's a lot more acceptance, from the American people for that kind of thing. Because we're really like we're the trendsetters. America is the trendsetter for the rest of the world, basically. So I'm glad to see another culture kind of have, an impact on us, and that we're able to accept it. I'm actually really glad for that.
Well,
yeah,
see,
I think some of these Asian cultures, they do the thing that everyone says. They take something that was learned somewhere else and make it better. It seems like,
Yeah.
yeah, with technology or with the film industry, I think the Korean film industry is, I don't want to say it's far superior, but there's a lot of very, very good stuff coming from the Korean film business, the Korean film industry. And like Shanclen was saying, they have a way of telling stories and getting to your really telling relatable stories that you enjoy. And I think I don't know if we have that so much now here, unfortunately. But yeah, and I do remember when I was in college, I took Japanese because I wanted to learn Japanese to speak to my family, and I was the only Japanese person in that whole class. Everybody else was either it was American. Everybody was American.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think, yeah, I don't know. That's just people. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's like that. There's like this fad of like, I don't know. It doesn't even seem like a fad at this point. Like, I don't think it's like a Korean film is a fad or Korean boy bands are a fad. I think it's a thing and it's been around for a long time. I think at this point, I don't know.
Well, see, I was going to say that's the end bad that I was talking about. The good and bad. The end bad is exactly what all three of you just said. Is that yes, it's different, but I'm looking at Shanclen and Trent here. It should be they're still good in the and bad, but that's really a kick in the butt, as we say over here in the West, for you two to do better. Yeah, like Mark just said, we have always been the beacon of everything. No matter what you hate or whatever, everyone comes to America for a reason. Because if your country was so great, you wouldn't be over here because you don't have opportunities to do that over there. That starts with entertainment. Pop culture is very, very important, also very formative. Whether it's books, whether it's movies, whether whatever it is. And when you see another culture doing better than you, if you will, then that should be, like I said, the kick in the pants for you. For filmmakers, up and coming filmmakers like you, to say, well, they obviously took lessons from us, and like Trent said, they upped it, they made it better, they took it to the next level. What's the next level after that? That's where I need to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a space for them, but how about a space for me too?
Yeah,
I just know Disney is suffering just because of K-pop Demon Hunters, man. All those animated studios, they're just like, need to take some notes from this, because it was like surprisingly good. It was like, even there's a sacrifice in there where somebody makes an ultimate sacrifice, and dang, you just feel bad for this dude. Like that's what I'm saying. Like with their stories, it's like it's never surface level with a lot of stuff. Like you kind of see it like that, but there's reasons behind it. You know what I mean?
And I am Iron Man. I mean, that's what I was asking. Is like, what is the difference other than it's Korean?
Well, I mean, Iron Man is like the one person that died in like 36 movies, so I think that's the one person that mattered. And that reminded me of like Fantastic Four, right? Like you knew Sue wasn't dead. You knew Johnny wasn't going to sacrifice himself from a mile away. You knew that was going to happen because they're not going to Mark, they're not going to pull the.
That really bothered him, huh?
Yeah, that's so much.
This is like the 7th clip in different place I hear him complain about that.
You just know that like Disney and Marvel aren't going to pull that trigger. They're not going to have any major consequences. And I guess I don't know K-pop Demon Hunters, but if this is the one thing they've done, and something happens to somebody, it's a major consequence. That's something that's not being done here.
From the shows I've seen, Korea's not afraid to pull that trigger.
Right.
And you're just like, when the show or the movie's done, and you're just like, I can't believe they did that. They're like, there has to be a season 2 when they bring him back. You're all praying for it somehow. That's how some of those K-dramas got me going. And I'm just like, oh my God, it can't end like this. It's so good, but and I really do think like there's an art to storytelling and motives for a lot of this stuff. And the motive is what drives the flavor into a character, and that right there, I feel like America is kind of losing out on, because in recent times, just because they want flashy, cool explosions, guns, but There's not a lot of backstory with it until the third movie or like a prequel comes out, kind of thing. So it's just like you got to kind of wait for them to drag that out for you to find out the full story of this person.
Hey,
yeah,
that's America.
America, baby.
America, capital M.
Yeah. No, I mean, but like I was saying, that is what that. I don't know if you want to see it as a bad, but that's the bad part of it that I was talking about, and it should be for like filmmakers like you two, the kick in the pants to up your level too, because it's Korea right now. It'll be another culture, and then another, and then another, and then at that point, no one's even going to care what you guys put out anymore.
Yeah, there's always. I agree. There is actually going to be like another culture, or another thing waiting down the pipe. Like I said, talked about all the other different.
Well, I mean,
things
we're all
that were
geeks
hot.
here. What did Qui-Gon tell us? There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah,
Man, it's just waiting to get his shot.
Yeah,
waiting to get a shot. Like I said, I never thought there would be like an Asian influence like there is now, and I'm glad for it. I think I think it shows so much more. It shows so much growth, believe it or not, in us as a country or whatever, that they're able to, accept it and appreciate it. So I love it.
For me,
yeah,
I don't see that as a bad thing. I see it as a good thing because it opens up more opportunities, more ideas. See, like they took some from us. I'm gonna take stuff from them too, and take stuff from everything, and just make a badass movie.
Right on. Yeah, and just take it to that next level. If the dial goes to 10, you got to take it up to 11 or 12.
Yep.
And yeah, maybe that does open the door. You know what I mean? Because if something's working that somebody thought would not work at one point in time, and all of a sudden it is working and it is big and it's making millions and millions, it's like, well, you got to be ready for the next big thing, the next big idea. So,
yep.
And yeah, maybe that does kind of open those floodgates a little bit.
Yeah, no, you all three of you are right. I'm not gonna give the whole details, but I was telling Trent before we started recording that I was talking to people in the industry that are producers, writers. We were talking something around those lines, and I basically said what I've been saying here, and this, to answer your question, is be better, plain and simple. And sometimes that better isn't. You don't have to think about it. You don't even have to look at other cultures or other things. Sometimes just going back to the drawing board, since people haven't seen the drawing board in a while, it's gonna shock them. It's like, wow, you're a genius. Not really. I just went back to the drawing board. You just forgot about it. It's not that complicated sometimes, people, is what you got to realize.
Yeah.
And you use more energy trying to think of the next big thing when you just got to do it. That'll be the next big thing.
Yeah.
But
if I can change the subject really quick.
Stop reading my mind. I was going to say,
next big things, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay. So I feel like the next big thing that's out right now is a movie that I didn't know anything about until some friends talked to me and said, hey, are you guys going to cover this? You're going to cover this? And I didn't know. I only saw a poster. I saw no trailer. I saw no information for it. And I think it's the #1 movie in America right now, Weapons.
Yeah.
Like that, to me, was a bit of a dark horse. That was a surprise. I had no idea what it was about. I just saw this weird little poster, these weird little kids, and didn't think anything of it, especially with the title.
These weird little kids.
These weird little kids. And and then I watched it, and I was pleasantly surprised with it. And I think Trent and I were kind of saying this might be the movie of the summer. This might be, with all the stuff that's come out, this might be the movie of the summer.
Yeah, we were saying that the movies that I think did really well this summer were kind of the Sinners and Weapons. Those are ones that were kind of both.
Wait, before we go anywhere, Trent, bring your mic a little closer to you. There you go.
So I got a cheap mic stand. I'm gonna get a new one.
There you go. No, 'cause you sounded like you ran across the street.
So,
we need to hear your power.
It started lowering.
There you go.
The more animated I got, it started like dropping down.
puberty kicked in.
That's what it is. Shut up, Mark. But yeah, we were saying that the two movies that I think did really well this summer, the best I think this summer, were Sinners and Weapons. Two kind of a little more underground. Obviously, Sinners was a big budget, and that was what's his name, Coogler, that he's been doing big budget movies. So, but it was like a personal movie that he wrote himself, you know. So I think the two movies that did really well were not franchise movies, were not attached to anything else, and they had an original concept.
Wait, are you saying what I said a minute ago? They went back to the drawing board?
Yeah.
I have a question for you two OGs.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys seen the movie Children of the Corn?
Yes.
Actually, no, I have not.
Okay.
I have not.
So, Henry, have you seen Weapons?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
I have
don't
not.
spoil anything for him.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't either?
I haven't either.
Okay,
So-
I won't spoil anything for you. Yeah.
I want to ask, like, when you guys, I don't know, like, you guys are probably like really young, but when Children of the Corn came out, was that movie like a first of its kind with kids being part of the horror?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think that with that effect, I haven't seen Weapons. Well, it's kind of hard to say because Trent hasn't seen Children of the Corn, or Mark hasn't seen Children of the Corn. Henry hasn't seen
Weapons,
yet.
right?
Yeah. So I'm not too sure if it would be similar. Trent, have you seen both?
I haven't seen Children of the Corn, no.
Okay. Because I remember my dad.
You're asking Trent. Yeah, it's a scary movie. Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I count the scary movies I've seen on less than this hand. So, yeah.
Just these two fingers.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just like how I've been kind of seeing some stuff about Weapons. Like whenever I see something, I want to watch it, so I kind of skip it. But I get the premise is like kids are pretty much a main aspect of this movie. So
From what I'm gleaming from what you are saying about Children of the Corn, I'm gonna say it is different.
different. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that's probably similar is the creepy kid aspect, and it's not
Okay.
even necessarily the kids. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to ruin anything for you.
Okay,
but
wait.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody that's listening, we're gonna get into spoilers here. So if you haven't seen Weapons,
Right.
don't listen from pause until you watch it. I'll say this: I haven't seen it, but I have spoken to people who have. I guess you can say spoiled it for me. The biggest difference between Children of the Corn and Weapons is the kids in Weapons, as far as I know, do they kill or do they not kill?
They're not. It's not. They're not under their own control. So it's not. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, Shanclen, cover your ears.
Yeah. They do some things, but not.
Yeah, they're victims.
Yeah, they're not. It's not on their. Yeah.
Children of the Corn, no, they kill.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I kind of knew a little bit.
Just evil, right? They're just
Yeah.
evil. Yeah.
Yeah, that I kind of knew that, and that's why I just said they're different, or that element is different. So, so you can watch it.
Well, I think
hopefully.
Shanclen, what you're trying to ask, or you correct me if I'm wrong. You always do anyway. But I think what you're trying to say is, I'll throw in Exorcist. The movie Exorcist, when that movie and when Children of the Corn came, especially the Exorcist, at that time it was the year I was born, 1973. When that movie came out, there had never been a movie where you saw a kid. I mean, Linda Blair was a kid. Do and say all the things that she did. That's what made it more horrible. Other than what her face looks like, the throwing up, all that. It was that. Yes, America obviously was a different place. I want to say it had more morals back then. There were more that would be more shocking. Whereas today, in fact, that happened with my kids when they watch it. There's like, yeah, my friends will not talk like that all the time. It's not shocking anymore. Something like Weapons today, where we've seen planes flying into buildings, we've all the stuff that we've seen in real life. Is it really that shocking? Not really. I mean, and it's kind of what I mean when I say go back to the drawing board. Filmmakers need to stop trying to shock people or find the next big thing. It's something that's simple, but the finished product looks amazing. Something as simple as Sinners, as Weapons. You don't put much thought into it other than making the movie, and you just release it and you just sit back and wait to see how people react. Because look, even here, I mean, those of us that haven't watched Weapons, look how we're reacting to it. It's like, yeah, I've heard about it. I kind of want to watch. And then you two are voices that I do trust when it comes to movies. If you two say it's good, then I really want to watch it now. Yeah, if I just hear whoever's like, oh, it's a good movie, I hear them every week on their YouTube or whatever. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's like, is there anything about a movie? Everything seems to be a good movie to you. Or are you just saying it's a good movie because they're paying you to say it's a good movie? You two I trust, because Trent especially. If Trent says something sucks, it sucks. I know that for a fact. If he likes something, I know it's good.
That's amazing.
Same thing with Mark. If Mark says it's very rare for Mark to not like something, media wise. So when Mark doesn't enjoy something, he doesn't go full Trent. We never go full Trent. He doesn't go as far as to say, he doesn't go as far as to say like, I hate it. It's stupid. Why'd you do? He just says, it didn't really work for me, but it was a good movie. So I know it's a good movie. So you two saying that makes me really want to see Weapons. So the point I was making is, that's what I mean exactly. Both of the topics kind of tied in. That's what I mean when I say go back to the drawing board, where there is no magic formula. Sometimes the magic formula is just do it. Just put it out there. You, the audience, you're the magic formula. If you hadn't responded the way you did to Sinners and to Weapons, would we even be talking about them?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Keep it simple, basically, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, already we used to have this thing, KISS, KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, I know I said I had a couple of topics, and now it just, for whatever reason, a couple more popped up in my head. I'm just going to throw them out there. We don't have to really get into it. I'm going to keep it brief. I know you guys got places to be and things to do, and I respect that. I'm just going to throw this out really quick. What do you guys think? Because Sinners and Weapons have two things in common. And also, there's a new show on Hulu called Alien Earth, right? Mm-hmm. So these three things have something in common. Writer-directors. They're all writer-directors are doing these projects. And is it a coincidence? We talked about the Alien Earth a little bit today on our own show. It seems like it's a pretty good show.
Yeah.
So all three of these things are pretty good. Maybe we need to we have too many chiefs, you know what I mean, that are in the mix, too many leaders, not enough people that are going to get the job done. So let's throw some of them out. Instead of having like a writer and then a rewriter and then a different director and a different blah, 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 maybe the trick is to have whoever comes up with that original story, they're able to run with it and, bring it to its proper fruition, as opposed to too many chefs spoil the soup. If everybody's got to put something in or take something out, your end product is a mess.
Wait. Shh. Did everybody hear that? That was Mark hitting the target perfectly. Luke Skywalker ain't got nothing on him. No, but seriously, you're right. Gone are the days of written and directed by. Yeah, you're right. It's a village now. What are you going to say, Shanclen?
I was going to say, I agree with that just because of TV shows these days. TV shows, it's like a different director each episode and like different writers sometimes. And I feel like season 3 Mandalorian really suffered from that. And the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. Because there wasn't a lot of consistency with the whole story. And like how you said, when you have too many different people that try to throw in their ideas, even though it may be small, it throws off the rhythm of past episodes or past movies. So I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, the first thing that I noticed about Fantastic Four was in the opening credits, it said written by blank, 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 and blank. 4 people wrote this movie. 4 people wrote this movie. That's why it feels like 4 people wrote this movie. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you make a movie
and
by
one
committee,
wasn't even part of the company anymore.
Yeah, So like if these movies made by committee, it's like a factory. Like they put like, hey, these are the blanks. Fill in these blanks. All right, go shoot that, and that's what we're gonna do. it's I feel like it's a clear answer. Like it's very clear. Sinners and Weapons are great examples of what should be done. And you know, people we're as the audiences are starved for it. Like we're so hungry for it, and we see it.
But wait, let me be the sinner here. Play devil's advocate. Does that? Let me look at the other side of that. Does that give you the bad side is having the director be the writer, also writer and director? Will the film suffer because it has to be that vision and that vision only? You're not open to, well, maybe if you do it this way. Or is that what Mark is saying? Too many chiefs in the kitchen. Too many chefs in the kitchen. Whatever the saying is. You know what I mean?
I'll speak for Mark when I say if it's Mark, nobody touches his product. It's his movie and that's it. But I think though, if it's open to somebody that you trust.
Well, you just told me one thing by saying that. I don't even have to look at my calendar. It surely isn't Valentine's Day. There's no love here.
But I think I know it comes down to like if you trust the person, if you know that you respect their opinion. Like I mean, if it was like someone telling me, "Hey, you never met this guy. He's gonna come in and do a pass on your script." Like, wow, who is this guy? What has he done? Why do I care about your opinion? But if it's someone that's like, I don't know, like I'd respect Shanclen or Henry or even Mark to have comments on something that I wrote. Like I think you guys all have good opinions, but I don't. It's
funny you say that. I was smiling when you laughing actually when you said that, because I know Shanclen's answer. Would he trust me? To some extent. Would I trust Shanclen? If this was a few years ago, hell no. Today, yes, because I've seen him very much more as a filmmaker, a much more mature Shanclen, where yes, he is open to more collaboration. When you and I first met, and you know it's true, when you and I first met, and your brother, it was you guys' way or the highway. And it was usually the highway.
Yeah.
And really, honestly, with any production, that's when it suffers. I mean, it's got to be you got to be flexible. I mean, you two know or will learn this as you go on making films with all productions. It does take a village, but there is always one chief. I've always said. I explained to an intern we had once on the Geek Speak show. He was a college student, because he wasn't really a part of the Geek Speak show. He was just there, but he wanted to run everything. And I sat him and I said, "Look, kid," because he was like 18 or something. I said, "Look, you need to understand if this is gonna be your career. You need to understand that in every production, whether it's TV, whether it's film, there is always the designated asshole." And that is either the producer or the director. And it's that person, he or she is the one that says no. Even when everybody says, yeah, it's a great idea. Everybody's got great ideas. But the one executive producer has to be the one that says, no, we can't do that. We're going to, whether it be for financial reasons or creative reasons or both, there has to be one that says no. We all know who that is. Feige for Marvel. When he was involved, and I guess I can say it because it's out now. But when he was involved all the way to Endgame, he was the director of everything. He was the captain of everything. If a director had a vision, well, you ain't working here. Go do your vision somewhere else, because your vision has to fit into our vision. I'm not talking about the character either. So that's the danger you run into when you want to collaborate. But again, I'll go back to radio. You used to have a saying in radio: how many engineers does it take to change a light bulb? Well, about 100. One that actually changed it, the other 99 to tell you what the other one is doing wrong. Kind of the same thing applies to a film crew. There's a director, there's a camera person, but there's gonna be other people telling you, well, I wouldn't have done it that way. I wouldn't have focused that way. Like, are you doing the movie or am I? So there's a balance that has to be struck in there, and I think, as I've been listening to you guys, I know we're laughing, we're having fun, but this is why I love doing Issues of the Day, especially when it's us four, because I do learn a lot of things. What I just learned is when it comes to making films, and again, I'm not a filmmaker, but what I just learned is, like a Jedi, you've got to have balance. You got to be a gray Jedi. You got to have a little bit of dark, a little bit of the light. When you have both, you have a great production and a great crew. So again, there's probably filmmakers listening who's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, we know that already. Yeah, but I'm not a filmmaker. I'm just learned that right now. That's all. From you guys. Yeah. That's even better. I learned from you guys.
Yeah, I think you can't be an island 100% onto yourself. You know what I mean? Because even like an author of a book will have like a proofreader, right,
Yeah.
or someone that's gonna like go through. So yeah, you can't do it. And I feel like even with those movies like Sinners and Weapons, that they probably did have people coming in saying, "Hey, can you put this in? Can you take this out? What about this? What about that?" And I guess they probably do. I would imagine as a writer director, you might have maybe a final say. I think it is, it's really about having that North Star. And I've said that a bunch of times about having that end goal in mind, that focus, that end game in mind, and focusing on that. So, yeah, even if you are a writer director, you still have to have, you can't do it by yourself. You have to have,
I mean, you can try.
Yeah.
But then we've all seen War of the Worlds.
You talking about the Ice Cube one?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that movie's good.
Hey, Ice Cube,
go
cash
watch
some
that
checks,
movie. It
bro.
is
Cash
a
some
hot-
checks.
It is terrible. Right? Oh
Yeah.
my stars
I mean,
and garters, man.
We don't do video, but if we were, we just did War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
Basically a
War of the
Zoom
Worlds right
meeting.
Yeah, this is it right now. This is
Yeah.
it. Oh my God, that movie.
How'd that movie get made? Yeah,
I
that's
was really
crazy.
trying to wrap my head around it too. I was talking with a friend of mine, and he was saying, I was thinking maybe like the company bought the rights to it, and the rights were about to expire, and if you don't do something with it, then you lose it. So, we got to hurry and put out a movie. And then I think he said like it was made during COVID.
Yeah, we can tell.
Right? Yeah, they're all by themselves. And then even at the end of it, when they're having like a baby shower, there's only like the 5 of them. I'm like, you guys don't have any friends? Like what's happening right now?
I mean, really, Mark and I, we can laugh, but you two, it really should piss you two off. It's like, wait, they give them money to make a movie, but they won't believe in our projects?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, half our budget isn't going to go to Zoom. We'll at least go on location.
When you're Amazon, I guess, like if you think about it, you got to be the best at something, and they're the best worst movie ever. People are talking about it, so
right. So yeah, that's a winner. I mean, if you got a bunch of people watching it, getting its views or whatever, isn't that like a success? Was that saying that
bad promotion is still promotion or whatever?
Yeah. There's no bad publicity kind of thing, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's a perfect example right there.
Yeah, right. We are dumping on it. Yeah, if you haven't seen it though, it's so terrible. Please watch it.
I mean,
watch it.
Well, I mean, here's another one. Is it one of those so bad it's good, or is it just bad?
Oh no, I think it's just bad. I don't even think it's so bad it's good. I don't think. I think it's just so bad. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like, it's like watching somebody try to stand up and they keep slipping in the same puddle. But they do it like 19 times in a row. It's like, what? No, stop, no, and you just can't look away. It's like,
wait, wasn't he in the White House just a few years ago? Oh, you're talking about like acting.
Hot mess. Yeah, not good at all. Not good at all. You just watch it just to be like, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But that's entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, people are talking about it. Now they have to go like, how bad can this be? Let me go see.
Yeah, let me go see. Yeah, let me stick my hand in that pit. Like, how bad could that have hurt? You know.
Although, here's the thing, without looking it up, who directed it?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know at all.
I mean, we know Ice Cube is in it, but he's not. You know, he just showed up basically and collected a paycheck, really. But,
and Eva Longoria's in it too.
Yeah, but we can't really put blame on anybody because nobody knows who directed it.
Yeah.
I don't. I didn't even pay attention to it. I think when they were rolling the credits.
Well, hey, you two. If you want to pitch something, this is the time to say it, so nobody knows. Hey, I directed War of the Worlds. Oh, you did? Hey, let's take a meeting with him.
Get your foot in that door by the time they figure it out.
Oh, you meant that World of Worlds. I meant my World of Worlds.
Right? Yeah. My home movie.
Okay.
They showed in my high school.
So, fun fact, I just looked it up. The director is Rich Lee, and he's an American music video director.
Oh, that I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. He did directed music videos for Eminem, Maroon 5, and the Black Eyed Peas.
Never again. Not anymore. You won't.
And this is his first outing, huh? As a feature
You
film
think?
guy. Looks like he did some visual effects for I'm Legend, Pirates of the Caribbean, Minority Report. So
I mean, that's how it goes, right? I mean, even like Zack Snyder, I think he started off like doing music videos, right?
Yeah.
I think before he became a flipping director. So, I mean, this guy, this Rich Lee, I mean, he followed the course.
yeah,
He did what you're supposed to do.
Michael Bay did the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
He was doing like what was it, like underwear commercials or something? No, Victoria's Secret commercials. That's what he was doing.
There it is. Yeah, the difference is Zack Snyder's first movie, I think, was Dawn of the Dead. And that did well compared to this War of the Worlds.
yeah.
Gotta have a good first one, man.
But
know,
see,
yeah.
I wonder if this was shot during COVID for some reason, and they were trying, and because they keep everybody separate, like it's a cast of fives, and so it looks.
It could have just been one of those like, hey, give this guy something to cut his teeth on, and put some money into it, let him do it, and then.
Yeah,
then that was it. Like, hey, you need to get something under your belt.
Yeah, but War of the Worlds, that's like a major. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna give, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, if like that's a big brand. That's like saying, oh, we've got the rights to Batman. Why don't you give this a shot, kid, and see if you can make a movie with it?
That's like my question is how did he get that?
I wonder, yeah.
That's very interesting about.
Well, I can tell you, but we'd have to turn the mics off.
Gotta know
wink,
the right
wink,
people.
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, like at least people are talking about it. People are talking about how bad it is. Like, there's some bad movies that just go under the radar, no one ever talks about. And this one it's all over YouTube now. Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
So at least there's that.
Yeah. Like, and again, like it's views.
Yeah.
It's numbers. So maybe it'll work for him.
It's crazy.
Well, did you have any other ones, or was that?
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that too. Yeah, so I mentioned Alien Earth, Alien. I want to say Aliens Earth, but yeah, writer-director. So I mentioned Alien Earth, and one interesting thing about that is the topic of immortality. Hopefully this will be a brief one, but we kind of talked about it again on the show.
Impossible.
earlier.
That's us.
Yeah, I know. I just jinxed it. I should have known better, but there is an element in the show where a girl is terminally ill, and her body or her mind or whatever is uploaded into a superior synthetic being. And I guess my question was, and I kind of threw it at Trent too, is that really her? And this is, I guess, maybe just how immortality might work in these kind of circumstances. If any kind of comment you want to make, is that really the person? Like, let's say, for example, I'm terminally ill, and they're going to put me into this, sexy synthetic body that's obviously going to look just like this, just like myself.
Sexy, right? Yeah.
Emphasis on the sexy. So they're going to put me in this new body, and I guess the question is, if they do that, is it really you being put into that body? I mean, is that possible if they don't take your brain out and stick your brain into that thing? Or is it just an elaborate, a fantastic copy that they put into your body? They kind of get into that on the animated TV show Invincible. They mention it, and then I think in Battlestar Galactica, the new series, they that kind of comes up with how the Cylons can kind of live forever or whatever.
Same with the Chappie we were talking about earlier too.
Yes, and yeah, we were talking about that too. So I don't know. I guess it's more of a.
Before we answer, let me ask Shanclen, how deep do you really want to go on this one? Or should we keep it geek speak?
It's you.
Your show. I'm just here.
It's your kingdom, Henry. I'm just a knight in your kingdom.
Yeah, but you're Lancelot. So I'll say this. What are you asking, Mark? Is it still the same person? Is
It's
it still
the
them?
same person in that, especially in that kind of situation?
My answer, without getting too deep, is yes, because the vehicle doesn't make you the person. It's who's in the vehicle. In other words, it's your personality. You're like if you know how we say that person reminds me of Mark, that person reminds me of Shanclen, that person reminds me of Trent. It's not because they look like you physically. It might be, but really, it's because their mannerisms are like you. They act like you. The way we feel around them is the same way we feel when we're around you. That's your personality. That's you. So if you can take that, I did find that interesting also in Alien Earth when they did that in the beginning. Because that's like one of the biggest sci-fi tropes ever. I think we all know that, living forever. And it's been done in many different ways, including Pinocchio and Peter Pan in a way kind of did it with, never growing up. It's a bit of a immortality, but with this one, yes, it is the same person, even though it doesn't look physically like them, but it's still the same person. Because I mean, if you guys saw it, it's in the pilot. When Wendy finds, or I think it's in the second episode, when Wendy finds her brother, how does she convince him that it's her? By reminding him of memories, things that only she would know. It's not because you don't look like that little girl that was my little sister. That doesn't matter. But what made him hug her and realize, yeah, it's my sister, is the things that she said, the things that only she would remember. So, yes, like for example, I'll keep it close to us. There are some things that I don't. Well, Shanclen wasn't there with us, but he's heard it enough. He would know. And we did, I think, the last time you guys were on the show. I forget what I was talking about. Because I was wearing the Star Trek shirt, and what did Mark say? It's not that shop and we immediately knew what you were talking about. That's a memory unique to only us. If you can put anybody's, if you can clone Mark, they probably wouldn't remember that because they didn't experience that. But if you put Mark's personality, his soul, his memories into something else, he would remember that because that is Mark. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so yes,
I hear you.
that's why I
Mark
say yes, it is the person.
Gotcha. I think Mark brought up a good point though, because the thing was that and this is what got me thinking is that first I was like, oh no, in the context of the show, it might be an actual conscious transfer or an upload or a copy and upload. And the thing is that like how would if I were to die, like he brought it up, like if what if that person on the table just died and like their conscious went away and they died and that copy is what's in the synthetic being. How would the synthetic being know if it the difference, like because I could just be dead, like I'm dead and there's a copy, I wouldn't remember because my conscious is actually gone. And does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, because Mark brought it up today, and I was like, "That's a good point," because we wouldn't really know. You wouldn't really know if you're a copy or if you actually did transfer from that body over here.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're let's just say,
this is getting good.
The technology's there to make a perfect duplicate of your memories. To be able to do it perfectly.
That was Mark's synthetic right there.
All of your if it's able to do all that. How would you know? And then I kind of thought what happens if you're on the operating table? Does it actually take out? Does it just make a copy of you and put it in there, or does it actually somehow take you out of your brain?
Man, this is getting good. But yeah, does it actually take the brain out and put it into another body? So that's what he mean to say. I think there you go. You're back. Yeah, that's what they were saying. And it's an interesting concept to be like, oh yeah, well, if the person dies, you wouldn't know if he died. The only person that knows they died is the one that died, and then that's it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, wait. I want to hear what Shanclen has to say because he's got that look on his face.
Yeah, smirk. He's
he's about to answer all the questions. You're all wrong. Yeah. Here's the answer.
So, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to have a consciousness? It's the ability to learn and change and adapt. And for me, I think I've seen a couple different things to where it was like a nightmare kind of thing, to where like it was somebody was trapped somewhere and they had people that were around them that had the same memories and stuff and how they would act, but only up to the point of when that actually happened. Everything else after wasn't new. It was kind of like replayed kind of thing. So, and then you kind of go into RoboCop. You think about that. He was dying or dead, and then they put him in a synthetic body. So what he did was he was still able to adapt and is still able to think. Yeah, he was still under control, but when he broke free of that, he was still able to adapt and change. Same thing with humans. I'm like, if you had a robot that had a memory of me 10 years ago, compared to who I am now, that 10 years of life experience and development has changed me, whether that be for the good or better, or kind of thing. So that's where you kind of have to think is like, would these synthetics, yeah, they'll have their memories up to that point, but will they have the free consciousness to develop and actually grow more, to be an actual kind of human being? Is that in the programming of the thing? Or because that in a sense is like, what is the soul kind of thing, the spirit of the person? Because if the person is terminally ill and they just copy the memories and all this other stuff and put it into somewhere else, that creativity of being able to be human is gone. It's just the memories, and the memories will be dictate your situations and then how you problem solve. But when you're human, sometimes you think outside of the box and you do something that's like completely different from what you grew up knowing. So that's where like, okay, am I really messing or talking with the person that was actually here? Or am I just talking with a copy paste of my old friend? You know what I mean? It gets hella deep. Yeah.
See, with that, what Shanclen just explained is why you should not fear AI, because it will never be able to replace humans, because it never had human experiences. It can only copy what we tell it, what our experiences are. Well, we've had that conversation a lot on these episodes, and I know you guys have talked about it on some of yours, but really on these, we've talked about that a lot, how that's why a lot of filmmakers do not fear, a lot of writers do not fear AI at all, because it's not intelligent. It's not living. It's exactly what Shanclen said. It's not human. It only does what we program it to do. It just does it a little bit faster than us, but that doesn't make it more human to us. That's the big explanation there.
As long as you don't put it into an exoskeleton that can pick up guns and run, then I'm sure, it'll probably be fine, right? Yeah, then it'll be fine, I think, right? Yeah.
We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Well, I did get an email the other day. It came from this Cyberdyne company. I don't know what they're about, so I don't know. I might look into it.
Probably only going to do great things for humanity, man.
Right, I'm sure.
That's what they said, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You didn't sign up for that, Henry? I did.
Who was your contact? Was it John Connor?
I signed away my body, so you're gonna see Shanclen Terminators running around.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Oh, see those would be some big Terminators, man. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's it, or anything else?
Yeah. That's it.
Yes.
But really, that's there's the issues of the day for this month. Well, you got enough for 2 months, really. There, we missed it in July. We made up for it. You're welcome. So thank you guys again, seriously, for coming on. As always fun talking to you guys. Obviously, we're like here 9 hours later. So let's do it again next month. It's our challenge. We'll try to keep it to an hour or less.
Oh, geez.
Keyword
I mean,
being
yes.
try.
I mean,
That's
yes.
a challenge. That is a challenge.
I mean, yes.
Challenge.
While everybody waits, though, I mean, here's your chance, all three of you, to plug yourselves. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Where can we hear you guys? What you do?
For us, you can hear us anywhere at the GOTS Pod. The GOTSPOD. That's our name everywhere. We're on YouTube, videos every week, and podcasts every Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, Geek Off the Street. We are there.
Oh. And you can go ahead and find me at Shanclen Shadow Productions on YouTube. I have my main channel there, Shanclen Shadow Lodge for my second channel. Then I have a new Instagram because I unfortunately got hacked, so I lost access to my old one. So now I have a new one, Clen_Warrior_SSP. So I'm trying to rebuild the audience, so go follow me over there, all you Geeky Speak followers. And yeah, October is going to be very interesting because it's my favorite time of the year. Spooky time.
Go to the YouTube, the Shanclen Shadow Productions. That's we'll say a tease of what you might hear on the Geek Speak Treats episode for this year. I'll leave it at that. The rest you're gonna have to come back in October and listen. So there it is. Mark and Trent will be back maybe next month and do this again. Shanclen and I for sure will be back next week. So all of you be back next week. We'll speak more geek. Bye.
Issues of the Day are standalone episodes that you'll hear once a month. Henry and Shanclen will return next week with an all-new episode of the Geek Speak Show, Volume 2.
The Geek Speak Show, Volume 2 was produced and distributed by 22 Creations Multimedia, LLC.